You too.
Hey ballers, welcome to These Balls Can Talk, the podcast that won't charge you a tariff to listen or watch us. This is Mark, along with John and our producer Pete. And we're getting ready to discuss the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. If you like what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button, or as we like to say, tickle that little bell.
Oh yeah.
I still maintain you're the only one who likes to say it, Mark.
I mean, he says it every episode.
I'm sticking to my guns. We welcome back to the podcast
Guns are
Lillian
weird.
Rice and Eric Posch. What's going on, peeps?
Hey guys.
Hello.
Joining us from the state of Colorado.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
I just saw
same household even.
same household. What?
I know.
Amazing.
John, how
but
you
yeah,
been?
2 different cameras and microphones and backdrops. Incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah. I bought a webcam just for this, so.
Eric,
it's,
you look
it's a
so
big
crisp.
moment
You
in
look
the
very
podcast.
good.
It looks so crisp.
Yeah.
Crisp is definitely
Crisp.
a good word for it.
Crisp.
720p.
There
You
you
have
go.
so many LEDs in your room. It's amazing.
It is. It's very
so many
exciting.
LEDs.
And,
Do
and
they
a
blink
Southern
in any
Comfort
cool,
sign.
interesting ways?
Yeah, they'll sync to music depending on
Ah,
the
my
mode.
God, I love
Oh,
it.
that's cool.
Pretty
I
cool.
I have so much stupid smart home shit. I have it everywhere. It's my favorite thing. I literally walk through my house and I can just talk to Alexa and it doesn't matter where I am because there's enough of them. But like I'll turn lights on, I'll turn the TV on, I'll turn the Xbox on. Makes me
Okay,
happy.
so then
I live in the
everybody,
future.
I'm gonna say my segment is no longer gonna be anything that I've done before.
We're
It's
just jumping ahead now.
no, it's just gonna be Eric silently playing music, and we watch the lights sync to it, and we have to guess what song it is.
That's kind of actually
Kinda cool.
amazing.
How
love
good
that.
is this light
Name that
syncing?
tune.
Yes.
Like my personal life is still on fire, but everything else is going pretty okay. Jamie had a first act dress rehearsal for her play today,
Ooh.
and it went very well. So she's feeling super confident for opening night tomorrow. So break a leg, Jamie. And my work is good. We caught up with the rookie 7 seasons. I feel goodish about that, I guess. And we just started another ABC procedural cop drama. We started 911. So everyone tell us what you think of 911. Except for that, Thunderbolts is coming, which is cool. And
Yeah,
Fantastic Four is
buddy.
coming, which is, I guess, cool. I'm still struggling with the giant Galactus with a face and eyes and arms. But I'm just going to say he's a Celestial, and I think it'll make me feel better.
I don't know,
Fair.
Does
man.
anyone but Lillian know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
I know of Galactus, but like,
Marvel too much.
isn't he like a giant head and like a little robot leg thing?
No, he's just...
You're thinking of
he's the-
MODOK.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
MODOK.
Galactus is
Okay.
the devourer of worlds. He likes world snacks, and he sends his
World
heralds.
snacks.
He sends his heralds ahead of them, led by the Silver Surfer, until he escapes and devours worlds.
You guys ready
that is-
for me to blow your mind then? What if Unicron from the 1984 Transformers movie that also eats planets is just Galactus inside a giant robotic suit?
I'm in. I'm into it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of crossing of worlds there.
Write
Yes.
that
Mhm.
shit, Pete.
All right, let's do
Should
it.
write
Yeah,
your
right.
check.
It.
Tell your friends at Warner Brothers to cash that check.
There you go.
Anyway, Mark, what's going on, man?
I went to Vermont this past weekend. For those that
Ooh.
don't know, I am officiating a couple of my friends' wedding in October, and we all went up there to do some planning, and that was the first time I saw the venue too. Unfortunately,
Well, that's
it
super
rained
cool.
the entire time, so I didn't really get to see a lot, but I did see essentially. So like the ceremony was going. There's going to be a lake behind us during the ceremony. Lillian, a lot like Brad and Lindsay had. Different lake in Vermont though.
Not the same location
Not
though.
the same, not the
then
same
you wouldn't have had to go. You would have been like, old
It's
hat.
gonna be later in the year too, so there potentially will be some different set of foliage, like hopefully a little bit more autumny.
Yeah, that'd be
but
beautiful.
It's gonna be perfect. It was
Early
very
October
cold,
is
too.
peak like foliage season in Vermont.
Yeah.
It was very cold too. In fact, one of my friends, or the groom to be, decided that he was going to participate in a polar plunge that was going on that day
Oh,
Oh yeah.
in the lake that they're going to get married, or next to the lake they're going to marry in, or no,
Yeah.
the polar plunge in the lake. I've been drinking.
They're not
Anyway,
in
that's
the
okay.
lake when they're getting married, right? They're
No, but maybe they should be.
maybe they should be now that
That's a
he
test
knows the
commitment.
beauty of the lake.
Polar plunge during the vows. I do.
There you go.
Yeah, and then so we're off next week because I am going to Mexico. I will be in
Nice.
Cabo for
exciting.
Mexico all
a week.
around.
Mexico
Oh,
all
yeah.
around.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all the Mexicos.
Cabo's really cool.
So looking forward to that. This is the first vacation, like real vacation I've had in a few years. So
Awesome.
definitely looking forward to
Well
it.
deserved. Have you
Gotta
ever?
spend all those.
Very well deserved.
Gotta spend all
Happy
those
work.
jobs money, Mark.
So we.
I'll still be working. I'll still be working a little bit probably.
Mark.
Guys.
You're gonna try
Look,
to
we
sell houses
just
in
talked
Cabo,
about real vacation.
I have to make like that I am still
Hi, Jamie.
around.
right?
Hi, Jamie.
You should definitely do some
I
singing realtor posts
just
from
did my.
Cabo.
Yeah, I know. I will. I'll
Hi.
try.
Good wave.
I just got my taxes done too. I need to. I need
nice.
to
Gotta
learn
go.
how to Republican the shit out of my taxes though. 'Cause
Yeah.
I owe money this year or last year.
You owe money?
Oh.
I owe money.
I almost owed money because my job messed up my state. I lived in Colorado Springs, Wisconsin all last year, apparently.
Oh, no.
Nice.
What?
I love it there.
So
So
we
cool
owed
this time of
money.
year.
I put in my W-2. We owed about $100, and I was like, it's not about whatever.
That's
That's
pretty
pretty good. It's
good.
almost perfect.
That's
I put in Melanie's.
Uh-oh.
And it ballooned to 2,800. And I said,
Wow.
That's worse.
I said, what? So Melanie did not make a lot of money, but she made more than she made last year. And so I was like, hey, honey, can I see a pay stub? She said, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took $6 out of her pay stub last pay period.
That's it.
I
How
said-
many dependents did she claim?
I said, something's broken.
Yeah.
So we, needless to say, we have reclaimed the W-4, and she didn't claim it incorrectly when they transferred to the new tax law. I just don't think that the payroll company that ran the poor Catholic schools payroll did the right thing.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, that sounds like they just didn't
so-
pay any taxes at all.
Yeah.
$260 in 2024. I mean, and
Yeah,
I know
that feels like
she wants
either an
a lot.
error or y'all had a lot more kids than I was aware of.
Not 1099 because she paid Social Security and she paid Medicare or Medicaid. She paid all the things she's supposed to pay, but no federal taxes.
No federal
So,
taxes. Wow.
Oops.
What's her secret?
Oops.
So we paid, but we paid.
But next year or this year, I guess it's fixed in theory, at least.
I mean, it's already April.
We're
yeah, that's fair.
Already
75%
April.
of the year.
You're like, whatever.
Pete, what's up with you?
work.
What's up with that?
On to the
All
next
right, next
Liam.
topic.
Yep.
Working Liam.
Work and Liam. Not working Liam, but just work and Liam separately.
I mean, you got to work them early.
But
You gotta
work
them
him a
but
little.
it's sad because it's not even like, and I already ranted about this in a previous episode, but it's sad because I barely get to see him anymore. Like tonight, I rushed home so that I could see him and be like, okay, time for bed, buddy.
I got to tell you, Pete,
But it was still worth it.
you are reaching the time where driving an hour to work is bad.
Yeah.
And because I literally made your drive. That's what I've talked about on the show. But like, I literally made your drive and had the same struggles. I would get home and it would be time for bed.
It's at least when I'm not in crunch time in a project, it has not been nearly this bad. And I do normally would work from home 2 days a week. So it's just this project is.
I did 3.
Yeah.
3. But
So,
I
and
hear you.
Yeah, it lasts you a while, but like normally I'm done by like 6 o'clock and can still like.
Let's see. Jamie was born in 2012 and I joined NYSERDA in 2015. So
We'll see
That
how
was the
long this
reason.
lasts.
that was the reason.
Yeah, the
100%.
project.
Yeah, it
Anyway.
is.
All right.
Anyway,
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, what did the chili ghost stand? Oh, sorry. Why did
What?
the chili ghost stand by the heater?
Why, Mark?
Why?
It was trying to warm up his booty.
Ooh,
It's time for warm up your balls.
and your booty.
As a reminder, Pete will spin the wheel that will randomly select a question that our guests will answer. Are you ready, Pete?
I am. I'm going to warn you guys though. I did not provide a correct template for the 5-person layout with the website on the right. So this is what it looks like, guys.
We don't have that many friends normally, you guys.
This is a jumble. Actually,
At least not at the same time.
we're all in there except for John. We have John's microphone stand, but we don't have John. If you lean
I
over
want to see.
lean over to the stand, lean.
Wait, I'm going to figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, I see it.
The show must go on, but I need to see.
Yeah, lean to the right. Lean to the right.
Pretty funny.
Am I supposed to be seeing something?
No, you're fine.
No, you're good.
Okay.
No, Discord isn't the template.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
You can
no,
watch along on YouTube if you'd like. But turn
I
your sound
thought I
down.
had a 5-person layout for this, but I did not.
I thought you did too, but it's okay. We'll figure it out.
The 5-person looks good.
Go ahead,
for the
Pete.
regular.
Just
All
spin
right,
the
we're
wheel.
gonna spin the wheel.
Yeah, because I'm going to delete all that shit.
Okay. What's a fictional character you can really relate to?
Oh man.
That's a good one.
Or if you can't think of that one, what's maybe a fictional character that you wish you were, like someone
Of
that you
all
can
the
be?
fictional characters, you guys.
I know. It's an issue for me because I consume a lot of content. Like I read a lot of books, I watch a lot of film and TV and stuff. So I'm like, there's so many characters. Ooh. I'm like looking through my notes here of all the books
All
I've
right,
read so
so
far.
Can we narrow
I
it
have
down
said
maybe a
this.
little bit?
I have said this many times. One of the reasons I like Spider-Man is because I relate to Peter Parker being. I mask with
It's somewhat
humor.
ironic that you're wearing a Deadpool shirt, but go ahead.
Yes.
Right. Says the Deadpool
I
shirt
mask
right
with humor. I feel like I'm pretty outgoing. I'm reasonably smart, but
You like to climb
that
up
always,
buildings.
That always got me in trouble. And I think that one of the reasons that, Spider-Man was written because Spider-Man could be anyone, and Stanley talks about that. But one of the reasons that that people relate to superheroes is because you find one that is kind of like you, and that's why this push to make a lot of different separate groups being represented in a superhero is really important by Marvel that they are doing.
Yeah, the first character that genuinely came to mind that is the only superhero or fictional character that I've kind of genuinely dressed up as would be Captain Marvel, but I just sort of look
She's a
like
badass.
her anyway. But yeah, then the movie, I really liked the movie.
You're
I
a
know
badass superhero, so
yeah, so there you
get it,
go.
girl.
That's probably the one that I would go with, would be Captain Marvel. I was thinking,
That's
I
a
was
good
like,
one.
oh, there's lots of books and things, but it does always come back to Marvel and superheroes for me. So
It's kind of funny. The only example that's really coming to mind on the spur of the moment, Lillian had turned me onto this book Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Huh.
And I really like the book, and I wouldn't necessarily say I relate to him now, but one of the main characters in the book, Sam Mazer, he does remind me, or he reminded me a lot of myself while reading the book. Just kind of this smart but awkward loser nerd, that wasn't good with girls and just was friends with girls, but that was about it. And but just a kind person, but also a kind of awkward person, and well-meaning but not able to convey that well. And it did.
it's not him anymore.
really
He got the
bring
girl
me
in the
back.
end. Spoiler alert.
It brought me back to high school, college, and I was like, oh boy. It was really one of those,
It's
damn, this is
amazing to
reading
me.
about myself.
At 44, but in my 40s, how little I care about the things I cared about even 10 years ago.
I know.
Small, an iota of care.
That's deep.
And it's this thing that I'm trying to push into my 12-year-old is, I know that it sounds impossible now because you really care about what people think of you when you're in middle school, but in the end, it doesn't matter. You have to be sort of strong in your own convictions. You have to believe in the things that you yourself can do and the things that your circle of friends and family can do, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of 40-somethings who still struggle with that, to be honest. But yeah, it's I couldn't agree with you more, and I think it's a hard balance, especially when you're dealing with a 12-year-old or a middle schooler or a tween or whatever you want to call them, is you don't want to dismiss feelings because they're still feelings. Or even if you're having a big feeling and you're like, I know I'm not going to care about this in a week, but it's still a big feeling and I'm feeling it right now. Like, you don't want to like dismiss it or crush it, but it's also like,
well, like it's
move
less
on?
I feel sad or I feel anxious or I feel frustrated. It's more like I go into work and Susie yells at me because she's having a bad day and I feel bad about it, right? Like, and Susie's a bitch, right? But no, Susie had a bad day.
Susie is a bitch.
Yeah.
Susie had a bad
Susie
day.
also had a bad day.
And Susie, Susie's husband's sick or something. You have to always think about all that shit. Anyway, completely, if these balls could talk, appropriate, off topic, why don't we go on to the next question?
Certainly. I was going to give it a shout out to Perrin, though, of Wheel of Time. I feel like that's amazing.
Nice.
If anyone's read the books,
Pete, I really want to get myself to watch season 3, but I haven't yet.
I'm kind of the same. Like, I don't want to watch it, but they actually, some of the little bits that I did look at, actually, that it seems better.
It's a season of Black Aja.
Yeah, but the problem is, you stomp on a butterfly in season 1, and it was more than one butterfly. It was a lot of butterflies, and now the story like very sort of loosely resembles something based on maybe something that was somebody else's secondhand impression of what the Wheel of Time is. But anyway, the character Perrin is pretty cool. He's it's all about dealing with coming to out of a sheltered life and upbringing, sort of, or very stubborn in his ways, and like realizing
becoming a werewolf,
whole much bigger world right around you. Becoming what?
Becoming a werewolf.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle with that too. Just having these werewolf tendencies. Aside from all the wolf stuff.
Among Us.
But it's about how he's such a reluctant leader and like isn't confident in himself for like giving orders and leading people. And I kind of felt that struggle too, becoming a supervisor for like the first time, and just
right, we gotta move on.
Anyway,
literally every character in that book is reluctant hero. And a little chosen one.
I never read the book, but I think I might need to now.
Except
like
the actual chosen one goes batshit crazy, and you're like, should we be rooting for this guy?
Mark's gonna yell at you, Pete.
I'm spinning the wheel.
We spent 7 minutes on that first question.
Did you rather? Okay, here we go. This is quick. Would you rather have the ability to pause time or rewind time?
Rewind.
How far back can we rewind?
Definitely rewind.
Day.
Definitely rewind. But how cool would it be to pause time too? Like,
wait, so if you pause time, can you move? Is it like Adam Sandler style, or like you pause time and you can move throughout time?
This is like what was it, Hiro Nakamura from Heroes?
Or Professor X.
Did you watch the episode where he runs into a speedster and the speedster's going so fast that she can exist in the time stop zone that he's in?
Oh yeah, and he was like, "What the hell?" And you're like, "Well, you're not actually stopping time. You're just slowing it down so much that it's imperceptible to everybody else except me." You're like,
right?
Very The Flash.
That was cool.
The speedster was his.
I just
nemesis.
rewatched the Flash movie.
Oh yeah,
the new one.
The new one.
I like the new one, except for what's his face being a crazy shithead.
So here's a quick.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
A quick sell
anyway,
for pause.
Is everyone in? Yeah, everyone pause time.
I think everybody was rewind time.
No, rewind time.
Rewind time.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate for pause time, because it's like, hey, you know how you just. I always said, I wanted to learn that guitar, or I wanted to do piano, or hey, I wanted to do this project, but there's never enough time. Just pause time.
Pete, I'm going to blow your mind. Do you age, you yourself, do you age in pause time land?
I'm going to say in this case, no, because you've stopped time. Somehow you are out, because by stopping time, you are now outside the flow of time, so it no longer has any effect on you.
But aren't your internal organs still operating at the same like time as regular time?
Never mind that. That's just quantum physics stuff.
That's like every there are a lot of time travel shows. Actually, there was a time travel episode in Secret Level. Everyone watch Secret Level if you haven't watched it yet. It's on Prime. So there is
some of those episodes. Those are cool.
There is a time travel episode where this guy is trying to catch up to his estranged daughter, who goes on an adventure, and the way people travel in this universe is through little time vortexes. They do faster than light travel through time vortexes. And so he tries to catch up to her, and as he's catching up to her, he has to go fast. And so he's aging really quickly. So he finally catches up to her, and he becomes a very, very old man. And she's like in her 20s or 30s, and he like saves her life. And he's like, who's this old man? And it was her father, right? And he's like, oh shit. So that's the kind of thing I think.
That is so cool.
Secondary clarification, if you rewind time, do you yourself also rewind in the time, but then do you retain your memory of all the things? So like if I rewound time to be 15, would I be the age that I currently am, or would I be 15 but just retain my memories?
Ooh, what if
you would be the age you currently am. You currently are.
What if you had the option?
So then yes, you would retain your memories.
You are traveling backwards in time.
Unless in the time machine you check the checkbox in the menu that says like biologically
like
reverse and mentally reverse, and you can check the biology. So it's like, dude, I'm 15, but I got all my wisdom.
But so this is just a
I feel like that
state?
should be the default. I hate that we have to go into the menu in order to check those, because I feel like it should just be the default setting. It's one of my biggest gripes with the time machine.
Then you should help design the time machine next time.
That's why I'm a product manager to fix these things.
All right. I just want to point out we cannot get better than that. That is a perfect ending. We are out of time, but we should at least do one more. So let's do one more.
Third question. If you could have unlimited access to pay any resource, if you could have unlimited access to any resource, what would it be?
Mark, clarify your wording. I don't know what this means.
I don't know what it meant. This was from ChatGPT.
So physical.
I think Eric should answer
first. Maybe like either a natural resource or just an ability. Let's go with that.
Unlimited access to something like the cosmic.
Yeah. Imagine if you had unlimited money, right?
Yeah, like my brain.
That's a resource.
Both selfishly and I guess non-selfishly went to water, because if I had unlimited, there would never be a shortage of water, which could be a problem in the not too distant future.
He also drinks a lot of water. He hydrates all the time.
That would motivate.
So it's Eric's fault. It's Eric's fault.
Cheers, Eric.
Water.
It's actually a problem how much water he drinks in the desert.
That's why California's in a drought.
All right. We're going to get weird again. If you have unlimited money, couldn't you provide the world with unlimited water or invent a water source, let's just say?
No amount of money can buy
no amount of money can water. And frankly, if you threw that amount of money into the economy, it would probably end up messing up a lot of other stuff. But if you just gave everybody water, then that would probably be better overall, because it sort of removes the fundamental need for water from the economy, which is, again, probably better overall.
And I mean, once we get nuclear fusion, all you got to do is turn some of that H2O and grab the H into that and make deuterium and tritium, and you got unlimited power too.
Yeah, smart investment. Yeah,
it's still a limited resource.
That's the obviously next step.
It's still a limited resource.
Well, not in this scenario. It's unlimited.
It's unlimited.
If you could have unlimited access to any resource,
you're unlimited hydrogen and unlimited oxygen.
Okay, I'm gonna do a callback. You can't
have unlimited hydrogen and money.
I'm gonna.
Only you said money, Mark.
I'm gonna do a callback to last question.
Sorry.
My unlimited access to resource would be time.
I was thinking time too. Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind was time.
It seems to be the thing I have the least of these days.
Does that imply that you don't die if you have unlimited access?
That's what I was going to say. I don't want to be immortal, because that is gross. I don't want that either.
Well, it says unlimited access, so you could stop accessing it whenever you want. How about that?
That's a good point. Can you pass it down? Can you pass down your unlimited access? Is it hereditary? Or
is there a card?
I'm not.
Do I have to join
How
a
do you
club?
tax it? How does it get taxed?
Oh my God, we're going down a rabbit hole.
This is getting too complicated.
We are going down a rabbit hole.
47% tariff on. By the way, let's just speak to tariffs for 1 second.
Okay.
Trump put a 10% tariff on 2 islands that no humans live on.
Oh,
just penguins.
2 of them? I thought it was just 1.
2 islands that no
if those
humans
penguins
live on.
ever send something to us, then it's a tariff.
Yeah,
the penguins
they never said thank you to him. So.
Yeah, remember, it's reciprocal. Those penguins tariffed us first.
That's right. Yeah, right. Why? So reciprocal. Yeah. What do the penguins do does he have something against fucking penguins? Like what?
The penguins didn't. We're talking about the penguins, Mark.
Super tangents. Actually, I like that. It's like there's tangents and then super tangents.
What do you got against penguins?
Another sound.
The penguins didn't say how great of a president I am.
Yes.
That's right.
If you're gonna mock Trump, you gotta talk like them, John.
We're gonna make penguins broke again.
All right, and now we're gonna throw it back to Pete. Ready, Pete?
Yeah. So
he's gonna do something completely different.
And now for
something
completely
different.
Instead of what grinds my balls today, we're gonna do what excites my balls. Same laugh. That bite has to go in the final show. So
weird.
Ladies and gents, something got announced yesterday officially, and I've been waiting for a long time.
Tariffs?
No, not those. Besides that.
He made a chart in Excel, you guys.
So long, yes, I know. So long ago, when the Nintendo Switch came out, I was like, I'm a little underwhelmed by the hardware, but it's an awesome concept. You know, I'm sure they'll come out with a Switch 2 in like 2 years. Fast forward about 7 years later, and it's finally coming, you guys. In June, the Nintendo Switch 2, they
just
announced
in
a whole
time
bunch.
for you to have a son, Pete.
Exactly. So it all lines up. This is going to be Liam's first game console. I'm very excited because I haven't personally owned a Nintendo console since the GameCube came out in like 2001. Now Steph has the Wii.
It's so fucking awesome.
Yeah, Steph has a Wii.
Awesome.
I know. I'm really excited for it because I haven't had a portable system either. Most of the time,
who would have thought that the Wii was a beta test for the Switch? Nintendo did.
Kind of. Well, I feel like the Wii U really was that. Like the Wii U was like this half-baked weird successor to the Wii, and everybody was like, "What is this?" Well, it was like the French Wii, like Wii U. Like,
I mean, they were like, let's pioneer motion controllers and gyroscopes and game things.
They go flip him out of your buttholes.
Yes,
right.
And they say it's portable, but not really.
The Wii U is underrated.
No, exactly. Like so, those flagship games, and apparently, yes, I know there's so. We're going to get in a little bit now, since I have some time, to the specs. I'm not going to go too nitty-gritty for all the nerds, but it's got a bigger screen, higher res. Specs. The coolest thing is that it's using, admittedly, an older NVIDIA chip, but it's one that they can still do all of their cool DLSS, like AI upscaling shit with. So finally now there's a Nintendo system that can do 120 hertz, variable refresh rate, HDR, and play on a 4K modern TV, and it actually looks good.
Nice.
Like, that's a big step up from the original Switch.
Big step up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's
what is Mario gonna be doing?
Well, the first
really
game, one of the first big games they announced. Yeah. So one of the big launch title they're doing with it is Mario Kart. And it's going to be
I saw the videos from Mario Kart 9. It looks amazing.
So it looks super cool.
You're going to see like the individual hairs in his
There's
mustache.
like 25 cars or like 32 cars now.
And it's kind of Forza Horizon style where like in between races you can like free roam the environment.
Yes, it's
karts.
Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
So
oh boy.
So now for
Ellie
a little
and Mary
bit,
are going to flip their lid.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of controversy though that's now
that is a true
flashback with this thing. Oh, also the Joy-Cons, they can be used as mice. How cool is that? So
That's pretty cool.
Metroid 4 or Metroid Prime 4 they're coming out with, you can actually use like mouse and keyboard style controls to aim and shoot. How freaking awesome is that?
That is really
Because that's first person.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
And how many new mini games are going to be in Mario Party? Because that's what the people really want to know. Because Mario Party also fun as hell.
I'm sure there's going to be a bunch.
That is a true fact.
I think the big ones they announced now are those, and they're doing a massive visual overhaul to the two Switch 1 Zelda games as well. So those are going to get a fresh coat of paint. They said they
Zelda.
Yep, they're going to be in HDR, 4K. They're going to look 60 frames a second. They're going to look fucking gorgeous. So
They look great though. This is the thing. This is the thing though, and I know that the visual is very important to you, what you do, who you are. But like, I like to relate the Switch and Nintendo to Disney World. Like you walk into Disney World, and if you looked at Disney World,
that's a good analog.
And you looked at Disney World, and the characters weren't there, you'd be like, "This is kind of like a 5. Like this is an average theme park with average rides. With, I mean, the food is actually very good, but it's an average theme park. But then you put the characters in all the massive amounts of cool ass IP they own."
Yep.
And it's Disney World, and you can charge $200 a ticket.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's very fair.
And they're very similar business models because
I agree.
Nintendo owns Zelda, and Nintendo owns Mario, Luigi,
Donkey Kong,
and
like all the
Donkey
Metroid,
Kong,
like all
and,
those
like,
cool
Metroid.
Right, we've had those since we were little kids.
They own nostalgia. They own the whole fucking thing.
Don't they own Sonic now too? Didn't they buy Sega?
No, they don't. They might have small stake in Sega, but I mean, Sega's their own software company now. Sega. Yeah, they just. Sonic is definitely on Nintendo systems now, which
can we add that to the soundboard, John?
Yeah.
Sega! They've licensed Sonic.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess what I like about this, John, and yes, I know like this tech stuff can, the IP is the real important part for sure, but it's nice to see.
I just don't need Mario to be like 4K cell shaded, like 4K DLS. I just don't need him to be that.
No,
like, maybe I need him to be made out of chocolate. I saw that on the internet today, but
I'm sure that's a thing too. Well, one
that's
of the
fair.
Then one of the more important specs that actually matters for these kind of things is the memory. They put 12 gigs of RAM on this thing, which is a huge jump over the Switch One. It's not as high as I would have liked to see, but it's enough to where a lot of game devs can work on modern game engines and actually produce some very big games. Like more memory means usually like the scope of the game, the depth, the size of it, the amount of things you can do, and the interactivity and like complexity of it can be that much bigger.
Can I ask you, and maybe
that's
Eric,
the cool thing.
because I think he probably keeps up a question, do you need to play Cyberpunk as an example on your Switch 2? Or would you play it on your PC?
Yeah, I bought a gaming PC because I don't want to, like, I didn't want to do that with the Xbox, let alone the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't, like, I don't, see, for me, the Switch, I don't buy to run high-end games. I run it to run those games like Mario Kart and Mario Party and...
Yeah, the fun games that are
games.
low, yeah.
Which is a very fair point. But so here's one of the things that they are doing with that extra memory and fidelity. There's a Donkey Kong game coming out where literally the entire environment is actually malleable and like made out of texels. So Donkey Kong,
amazing.
Yep. So Donkey Kong, you can literally dig and just like rip ground apart, and it stays that way in pieces. Like,
I would also probably make the argument that the people they're trying to sell it to are not our demographic. They're probably our younger demographic who don't necessarily need to own
that is a true fact.
And a gaming PC and whatever. They're trying to be that all-in-one sort of solution that everybody goes to, at least as their first thing that they buy, which I think is pretty smart.
For sure.
Move.
Well, and
that
you
is a great
think
point.
The technology of, say, the Steam Deck. I'm sorry, Eric, you go.
No, I was just going to say, to the earlier point of comparing it to Disney World, because I think that's also an interesting comparison, because the other big thing that came out in the Switch announcement was the fact that physical games are now going to be $90.
Yeah, so I did hear that. So Mario Kart, they said, is going to be 80.
Damn
although
tariffs.
I know, I bet you that's part of it. But well, the other big thing is games are bigger now. So Nintendo's still insistent on selling them on these cartridges, but they're now doing a thing where like devs have the option to do a, I guess they call it like a key card. So you put this little SD card in its tiny amount of memory, and you still download the game digitally, but you need the key card to physically like. It's basically like
I downloaded games on my
key.
Switch One though. That sounds like kind of a shitball DLC. Yeah, I kind of hate that.
How much is the key
developer's
card?
option to do that? Well, no, it's like you buy the game, you buy the key card, and you download the game, and then you have to put the key card in to play the game.
That feels like the worst of both worlds.
I know.
That does feel like the worst
it
of
is
both worlds.
awkward, right? Devs have that option.
So,
Nintendo probably most of their games they'll probably just fit it on a giant like 64 gig.
We have all been
card.
playing video games since video games were almost invented, which is very sad. But coding language data on 8K on Super Mario Brothers in 1984. That game was $50, right? And then 16K Super Mario World in 1989. 1992 was $50. Games have always cost.
Games have always been like $50.
Some of them are even more. Like actually, Mario 3, 60, I remember was over $60.
100.
Mortal Kombat on Super Nintendo was $80.
When games,
really,
when PC games and started to like cross that $60 mark, the developers felt bad, and now every game, if you buy it over $60, you get some free bullshit with it. You get some, you get a DLC or you get a fancy hat.
That's true. That's true.
They're not going to sell games for $90. That's an insane idea.
Well, so now that's coming to the last part of this, which is the controversy and backlash. The system itself is $450. That's pretty high, but it's understandable.
That's the price of a system.
It would be it would be understandable. But to John's earlier comment, if its main competitor is probably the Steam Deck, and if you can download Steam games for $10, why would you pay $450 to get this system, but then have to pay $90 for every game you want to get?
The game price is the tough part.
That's what I was going to say. How does a large screen portable console work? I mean, they sure as hell pioneered it, but how does it work now that the Steam Deck is a thing, and now that Steam is licensing that technology to other companies?
And it's not just the Steam Deck, right? You have Asus, you have MSI. They're all making their own portable PC thing
because Steam let them.
Yeah, pretty much. They don't care as long as it has Steam on it.
That is a true fact.
We love Steam.
Yeah,
we do love Steam.
I would even argue this Nintendo system is more powerful than the original Steam Deck by this point, or it's pretty close. I think they'd probably trade blows.
All right, we're way over. Anyway, final thoughts.
I'm excited despite some of the prices, and I don't think these games are going to stay $90 forever. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Well, when they don't sell, Nintendo will figure it out.
Exactly. If they sell $90, they're going to stay at $90.
That's true.
That's true. I think if Nintendo's paving the way for $90 games, once GTA 6, if it ever comes out, that's going to be $90.
That's going to be $100 probably. Yeah.
If not more. Yeah.
All right.
All right. We'd like to thank one of this week's fake sponsors, Toastify Smart Toasters. Perfect toast every time because it remembers your favorite settings. Toastify. Doesn't your breakfast deserve precision?
That's the best one yet.
I love it.
Best one yet, Mark.
That's a good one.
All right, everyone, shall we kick off the shindig?
Mark, I need a Toastify toaster.
I never knew I needed one
toasting,
until now.
Just in case the viewers at home can see, this is not water. I just want everyone to be aware. This is gin and tonic. I poured 3 of them into a liter stein.
You can tell because
yeah.
there's limes in it.
Wait. Shout out.
Just water with lime.
Shout out to that stein glass because I'm pretty sure I bought. Cheers. I'm pretty sure I bought the exact same cups, and we have 2 of those. And Steph uses them for water, but we occasionally use them for beer too.
Yeah, that lives in Pete's house. According to
I think I got that at a
This is a Budweiser. Yeah.
You stole it
from
a
Budweiser one.
Cool.
Okay, mine doesn't have a label.
I have one from the Spaten tent in Munich that I stole. Don't tell anybody, especially in Germany.
We have some German listeners.
Dude,
don't tell Spaten.
Shout out to Spaten though.
So
the Optimator isn't great beer.
The theme to the songs this week is 2014.
Ooh, we're going more modern.
Because I think that's the year
here.
that Lily and I met, but I could be wrong about that. All right, ready?
Might be.
You know I'm all about the first topic. I'm all about the first topic. I'm all about the first topic. I'm all about the first.
Ooh, I like the...
That song's about butts.
Yeah.
No, it's about bass. No treble.
No treble. Why is that
so
song...
we've seen a full week of baseball thus far. The previously mentioned April hype is around us. We've seen the defending champion and newly crowned evil empire Los Angeles Dodgers win their first 8 games of the season, but not far behind them in their own division are the San Diego Padres and San Francisco Giants. From an individual perspective, Paul Skeens is still Paul Skeensing. Nate Eovaldi has recently pitched the first complete game of the season already, and Rafael Devers forgot how to hit a baseball. And Jurickson Profar's secret to his career year last year was finally revealed after an 80-game suspension for PEDs, and the Braves have since forgot how to win a baseball game. So everyone, what have we learned from the first week of the MLB season?
Ellie De La Cruz and Fernando Tatis are the best players in baseball.
Really? We might talk about that a little later.
The Mets are a train wreck. Oh my God, the Mets are such a train wreck.
Except for Juan Soto, he's still pretty good.
Even though Soto knows how to hit still, which is good.
He does.
He doesn't know how to catch. And apparently, did you see this? There was a Met who fell off the pitcher's mound mid-windup.
Oh no!
No, I didn't see that.
Oh no!
He just fell. Yeah. He just tripped over himself.
Who hasn't done that?
Look,
okay.
who among us?
According to my trusty...
We're going to talk about torpedo bats, but I learned about torpedo bats again, but let's not get into that because that's next topic.
Okay.
The Yankees are okay. We're okay.
The Yankees do be Yankeeing.
4-2, right? They're
The
second
Yankees are
place.
Well,
Won
again,
tonight.
so
In
the
their
Yankees
division.
aren't the
They won
evil empire
tonight,
anymore
yeah.
because the Dodgers have decided to buy baseball.
The Dodgers have decided to buy
But
baseball.
the
Oh, shit, they're
Padres are
undefeated,
also
too.
undefeated. The Padres are also undefeated, and the Giants have only lost one game. The NL West is apparently
I was
the
gonna
most
say, that seems
dominant
pretty
division.
dominant.
Yeah,
in
that
baseball.
division is trouble.
So-
Like the Diamondbacks are legit very good team, and they're
Middling to last.
third, fourth
They-
best team.
Can
They
someone tell
won
me
2 out of 3 against the Yankees, who I still maintain are very good this year so far.
Yeah,
They're their only losses so far, to my recollection.
Can someone that
I mean,
knows
they
more
only
about
played 2
baseball
series.
tell me what the hell happened to the Atlanta Braves? They're 0-7.
Well,
They-
they lost Max Fried to the Yankees.
Yeah, he's on our team now.
Acuna Jr. is still hurt. He's probably their best player.
Mhm.
And Profar, who was supposed to help them, decided tested positive for PED.
So yeah,
he's
they
out
lost
for
their
half the year.
They lost their 3 best. They lost their 3 best
And
players.
Spencer
Damn.
Strider is also hurt.
Yeah.
Like all their best players are hurt right
That's
now.
insane that
I
this still
love-
leads
I
into
think they'll be
I
0
love when you
games, though.
spout baseball knowledge that you just read. It really makes me very happy.
Oh, I'm glad to make you happy. I mean, I try to participate in the show. Come on, I can't just ignore it.
Pico baseball. Pico baseball.
He's not just a pretty face, John. Come on.
I mean, I know I'm here for the eye candy, but
I mean, April hype is a real thing. I am trying to be measured with my Yankee hype, even though we look great. But a lot of teams look great. I mean, obviously the Dodgers look great, but they're cheating, and I'm very
They've also
excited
faced
about
like no one.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's faced anybody hard. This like permanent interleague play thing, I fucking hate. Like I hate
What
it.
happens? There's an odd number of teams in each league.
I don't
Okay,
really mind
Yeah, it's
interleague,
5.
I blame
but
Bud
I don't like
Selig.
I don't like opening day against interleague teams.
Yeah,
It's gotta be.
who gives
You gotta have like some fun there.
that seems
Who
a
gives a
little,
shit if the
yeah.
Yankees win 3 home
Well-
against the Brewers? I don't care about the Brewers. The Brewers
Well-
are terrible.
And it's also one thing, like if you're playing in Milwaukee and you're playing in Arizona, which the Yankees' opponents have been, because you've got a dome stadium, and then you've got Arizona. Like you're not gonna have rainouts, that sort of thing. But
Right.
that hasn't been the case. I don't understand why that has been the lineup so far.
Because an odd
Have the
number
Devil
of
Rays
teams
played in
each
George
league,
Steinbrenner?
That's
Well,
why.
I think part of it, for me, it would be when you have an opening day, whoever the home team is, you kind of want them to win. And you kind of want them to be excited about the win. So I think the interleague thing against a team that they're probably going to win against makes sense to me.
Well, the
So
Brewers were
you're saying that
projected to be
all
the
baseball
division
is a setup for the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the apparently
No,
Padres.
Because the
to
Reds
do very
always
well.
have an at-home game too, and so and whoever's at home.
We talked last week that the Reds could be a sleeper because they have a pretty good roster and they're young and they have
you
Tito
see-
Francona.
They do.
Did you see Ellie De La Cruz literally come out of nowhere and grab a pop fly between 2 infielders this week?
What was that, like 119 feet here, Am?
Oh my God, he's so fast.
He's so fast.
Damn.
He's so fast. But yeah, I think especially because he's young still, so I think he's gonna probably really ramp up this season, especially compared to last season, because I think he's turning 25 this year, if memory serves.
So young.
He's so
He's
young.
so young.
It feels like he's been in the league forever, but he's still
That's
so
one
young.
He's only
young.
one full season. He's only been in for one full season, so I think he's gonna come into his own,
He's
which is
23.
already
He
crazy
just
to
turned
think about.
23.
What?
You are going to have to pay
Just
him
turned
all of the
23.
money. All of the money.
But as far as the Reds go,
Does
I think-
Ohio own anything good to sell to pay for Ellie De La Cruz?
well, I'm not going to tell you, New York.
We could wager. Hey, didn't we just talk about Cedar Point in the previous episode? We could wager that.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
That could be
yeah.
collateral for a better
That's
baseball
collateral
player.
on our Ellie loan. But
Well, Peter, you implying they're gonna pay Ellie De La Cruz in roller coasters?
Or they name a roller coaster after him.
Or just like
At a very
Joe
prestigious
Burrow and Ellie
park.
De La Cruz hang out in the Ohio Billionaires
I
Club.
want that side by side
Yes.
hangout so bad. I want them playing chess with Joey Votto watching over. Like that's
Yes!
what I
Oh
want.
my God. How amazing. How amazing would that be?
Can Miles Garrett join them? Because he's getting paid like fucking gangbusters now, too.
That's true.
We want to talk about
but yeah.
Ohio high-profile athletes.
All right, are we moving on?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because Lil ended that one pretty good.
That was good.
I guess.
Fantastic.
All right. It's next topic. You already know I'm in the fast lane. From LA to Tokyo, it's next topic. Can you taste this gold? Remember my name, about to blow.
That was really good, Mark.
I like it.
Really, really good.
Dead.
How are these
So I'm not
songs
gonna-
11 years old?
Listen, I'm not going to wait for the biggest news in sports this week. Big news in the MLB this week was the ex-Evil Empire New York Yankees and their MIT astrophysicists invented torpedo bats. So the Bronx Bombers tied an MLB record as they hit 15 home runs in their opening 3-game series, including a franchise record 9 in the 20-9 rout over the Brewers. So torpedo bats were invented by an MIT graduate named Aaron Lenhart when he was an analyst for the New York Yankees. The general theory behind is locating the hitter's sweet spot and then moving as much of the wood as possible there. So clearly being approved by the MLB and falling within the size and length standards, which is what they do. What are our thoughts about torpedo bats legality? Is this something that teams can take advantage of, or are we just forgetting that the Brewers are very, very bad?
Can somebody explain to me the downside of the torpedo bat? Because it seems like only a handful of players are sort of using them, and they're not even necessarily using them consistently.
So it is a
when they
different
use
kind of
them-
feel. There's a different feel with the torpedo bat because essentially it's weighted a little bit differently, and so it feels like you've been playing with a certain kind of bat pretty much your whole entire life.
Fair.
So when you change something, essentially like the fulcrum or the what's the word? What's
Sweet
the
spot.
word I'm thinking of? The sweet spot is changed. So
Been looking
the
this
whole
up, too.
like your whole swing could change just because the center of gravity is also changed.
No, but the idea,
But aren't these
though,
individually designed per each player? Like, shouldn't it not actually change their swing?
I think that's the concept,
the
right?
idea is don't change your swing,
Right.
but changing the bat.
Yeah.
So it's like the
That's
bat
the
will
idea.
feel the ideal situation, right? With these torpedo bats, John, if I'm correct, is they feel the same for the player, but it's just where they happen to connect the most with the ball.
Yeah,
they've moved the sweet spot
is now
to that point.
toward the end.
So there are a lot of people on the flip side, a lot of Red Sox fans like Dave Portnoy from Barstool, who are saying that
Portnoy has no opinion has no voice in my opinion.
that are saying that you're bad if you get jammed up, right? And a lot of these players, like let's just take Anthony Volpe for example, he gets jammed up a ton, and it's not necessarily because he's bad; it's because he's a little short, and so like. Hitting and not getting, you want the ball to contact, it's just a mass problem, right? It's a physics problem.
Mm-hmm.
You want the ball to contact the most wood to get the best hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they just move the wood. But the thing is, in the MLB, every batter presents 2 bats to the umpires before the game. The bats get approved. The bats are the same size. They're the same length. They're the same weight. There's nothing different about them. They're just
The shape is
It's
different.
built different.
The
It's built
distribution of the
differently.
wood is different.
One's a little more
I gotta
shapely.
believe it's a little different. The center of gravity, I believe, has changed a little bit, but I know.
Yeah, one is torpedo shaped and the other one
would
is
have
not shaped.
to, Mark, right? If
Now-
you're moving away from the end of it to the more to 2/3 in the middle
This
of it.
is not a silver bullet, right?
No,
The
it's not a
Yankees
silver
did
bullet.
not score 20 runs against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
They didn't.
I
This is
think
not.
the reality is. Sorry, John, go ahead.
No, you finish. I've been talking a ton.
Sorry, I was just gonna say. I mean, that is the reality. Like it is like it's not a new thing. It's been in baseball for the
It's
last.
not a
couple
new
years.
thing, exactly. Yeah.
He did not just invent it. He doesn't even work for the Yankees anymore. He was an analyst like 3 or 4 years ago.
I think the Brewers manager said it best. It's not the wand, it's the magician. You need to be able to actually hit the ball
I
in
love
order
that,
to make
yeah.
the right bat work.
Now, can we
I mean, they
fucking
were in
talk
Yankee
about?
Stadium too.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about Nestor fucking Cortez, who comes back to the Yankees for the first time and got shelled like bad. Like that has either it's all set up or he has to just. I'm like, God damn it, I'm such an asshole.
Well, I don't
Why
know
not
if I
both?
want to necessarily. I was just going to mention in real time now the Reds are up to 28 innings without scoring a run, so they may never
Shut
score
up,
again
Eric. Nobody asked you for that stat.
tonight. comes against the Reds. He wants one hit.
So
going back to the torpedo bats, though, I mean, yeah, like Eric said, they've been around since 2022, and people have used it and then didn't like it, but the people are noticing it because the Yankees are hitting all these home runs. Now, keep in mind, Aaron Judge not using a torpedo bat, still hitting a ton of home runs. So, if
that's because he's a giant.
But he is a mammoth of a man. Yeah,
he is a torpedo.
But if one person's using it, but like the common denominator here is Yankee Stadium. The common denominator is Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium has become like a little.
No, because Ellie De La Cruz hit a home run using a torpedo bat this week too. Like, it's not just the Yankees.
But the Yankees hit 15 home runs or something like that in a weekend. I think against the Brewers. I mean, the Brewers are that bad. Yeah. The Brewers are that bad.
I do want to step in here to defend Yankee Stadium just because it has, for several years now, maintained its status as a league-neutral offensive ballpark. It is a home run-friendly ballpark, but offensively as a total, it is right square in the middle offensively versus pitcher-friendly.
That's a very good statement.
That's interesting.
You are very correct.
I'm actually very intrigued by that. So, like, it has a ton of home runs, but yet it ends up averaging
center.
Mid?
It's very deep to center. It's very deep to left. It's pretty shallow to right.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, the porch is real. Like, I'm not denying that, but I think that it gets overblown as being a little league park because it's got the short porch, which kind of, because home runs are such a spectacle, kind of overshadows the fact that it is such a bigger park in a lot of other dimensions.
Let's just be serious about this for a second. Everyone Aaron Judge hits is in the upper decks. Like, he's just hitting.
Well,
he's just a monster. Man.
He's a beast.
He is the torpedo.
Right.
Could you imagine if he had a torpedo bat?
I'm on the Brute Squad. You are the Brute Squad.
Would he just hit him out of the stadium if he had a torpedo bat, you think?
Yeah. What's the stadium where you hit him into the water? Is that San Francisco or which one?
I don't know if it would help because he doesn't get bad contact. He either misses or he hits it out of the park. I mean,
that's also a fair point.
Side note, Eugenio Suarez from the Diamondbacks has the most home runs. So.
Is he a torpedo?
So don't all hate the Yankees because someone else has the home run lead right now.
And actually, a lot of people have 4. Flores has 4. Kyle Tucker has 4. Tommy Edman has 4. I hate Tommy Edman. I hate the Dodgers. Did I tell you I hate the Dodgers?
No, you haven't.
I was going to say, we're not hating on the Yankees anymore, guys. We're moving on. It's now the Dodgers.
Well, before we do move on, I do just want to fact check in real time. Judge did hit number 5 tonight.
Hell yeah, he did.
Wow.
Of course he
did.
did.
That just means ESPN.com is not up to date. Thanks, ESPN. All right, we're done.
All right. What do you got for us, Mark?
Oh, won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This next topic, it's clear to see. My darling, stay with me.
For the next
That sounded
time.
better in my head.
That was good.
That's good. That's a good one.
I don't do a very good Sam Smith. But continuing with the baseball theme, ESPN just released its list of top 100 MLB players. At the top, with no surprise, is Los Angeles Dodgers player Shohei Ohtani. But after that, might be a little surprising with in this actually particular order: Bobby Witt Jr. from the Royals, Mookie Betts also from the Dodgers, Aaron Judge from the Yankees, and Paul Skeens from the Pirates. Now, the highest ranked Met is Juan Soto at number 8. The highest ranked Reds player is Ellie De La Cruz at 17, and the highest ranked Red Sox player is, I'm the only one that cares, Rafael Devers at 25.
Has he got a hit yet, Mark?
He has. He's been hitting a lot now.
Oh,
the last 2 games.
My data is outdated. I saw he was 1 for 19.
What do we think of ESPN's list of top 100 players?
I mean,
completely subjective.
Christian Yelich is seriously underrated in this list, I think.
Is Bobby Witt really better than Aaron Judge?
No, I don't think so.
They're totally different.
Yeah, I was less upset with Bobby Witt Jr. ahead of Judge than I was Betts ahead of Judge.
Oh yeah, Betts should not be ahead of Judge either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Betts,
Judge being 4 is weird.
Like I feel like, if you can make the argument to me, like Judge is the best hitter probably in modern baseball history. Just pure hitter.
3-time MVP.
Yeah.
But I think you can make the case Bobby Witt was right there behind him, second place in AL MVP last year. He's up and coming. He's probably not even reached his peak yet.
No, he hasn't.
So you could say that, you think
it's a shame he's on a terrible team at the Royals, too.
Yeah. So
I don't think they're accounting for Judge now being a dad, a girl dad at that. I think he's on the upswing himself. I know that he's a year older and everything, and Bobby Witt's younger, but come on. He's got something to play for now.
What about Ellie De La Cruz all the way down to 17? Like, that seemed a little low.
Before we move on from Bobby Witt, can we talk about how does a professional dad help you become a great professional? And let's just talk about Bronny and Bobby Witt, for example.
Well, all of my experience as a dad.
I mean, I'm just saying, having that like your idol in your house teaching you how to be a professional your whole life.
Yeah. I think I'm only going to speak to sort of the comment that I made. Like, I think, again, with all of my experiences being a dad, but actually more of my experience knowing dads, that I feel like once, and you fathers on the podcast can correct me here, but I think once you become a dad, especially in a public setting like that, like it just drives you a little bit harder. Like, I mean, John, you said that you changed jobs once you became a dad because you had something else to relate to or something else to drive you. I think it's just always in the back of your mind, and that maybe for some people it turns them away from their careers. But I think in the case of Aaron Judge, I predict that it's going to end up making him a better baseball player because, like I said, he's going to have something that he's going to want to live up to, and that he's going to want to inspire his daughter, and that it's just going to, I think it's going to make him better. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
It's purely subjective as well.
No, I totally see that. I think like, but I mean, only having a toddler at this point, but I do want to make him proud, you know?
Yeah, but also,
oh yeah.
It laser focuses, parenthood laser focuses your priorities. It says all that shit
for sure
that you were worried about before, all the things you're like, Past John, you're such an idiot thinking that was important.
Well, it reprioritizes a lot of things, right?
It just like instantly jams them forward because of like instinct and nature and things you have no control over. All of a sudden you're like, wow, I need a stable job. Wow, I need to be home in time because this person that lives in my house wants to see me. It's important.
It changes a lot of things. Them.
So it changes your whole entire perspective on life. It might make him a worse baseball player. It might make him retire because he's never home. Like
maybe.
It depends, right? It depends on how that person is wired. And like when you have a kid, the thing they tell you is if you're worried about it, you're going to be good at it, right?
Mm.
And it's true because there's some people who are wired like that, and that's fine, to each his own. But so some people can just be away. Some people want to be away. Like, you don't have to take a test to be a parent, right?
Sure, right. They're very right. There's a whole bunch of different parenting styles, but I knew that it was time for me to come home. That was, I knew it. I was like, I have to find a new job. I feel that.
I think no matter who you are, it changes something fundamentally, right? So even if you keep your same job or you work more or you work less or whatever that looks like for you, like it does, I think it fundamentally becoming a parent changes the way that you live your day to day. And like I said, from a purely subjective, I don't know Aaron Judge personally. I've never talked to the man, but I predict that it will make him a better baseball player.
It certainly doesn't.
So do you think he might get better, more than 62 home runs this season?
Wow.
At least as many, perhaps more. That is my prediction.
And everyone, he'll probably yell, "This one's for you, kid."
Right. This one's for you.
Yeah, he's gonna point to center field like Babe Ruth. It's like, this is for you.
I will say, John, I'm sure it would help both of us, right, with all of our concerns and situations if we had a metric shit ton of money as a parent, right? Would that make a lot of things easier? It's like, oh, okay.
It comes back to unlimited money.
That does not.
Judge, if you're listening, if you could just give Pete and I $1 million a year,
yeah, I mean,
$1 million. out of the 50.
We would like to experience how parenting is
really
while
That's
being
true.
rich.
1 million doesn't go as far.
Just to try it out.
No, if I could have $1 million, I could turn it into more than $1 million. So I'd be okay with
$1
giving $1 million.
million.
Give me $1 million.
Mark. If somebody just handed you $1 million, your life would be better. It would be better.
I mean, Bare Naked Ladies made a record hit song about it.
It would be better. Period. Hard stop. I mean, $1
million when they wrote that song ain't the same as $1 million.
It was a lot more valuable when they
Do I get $1
barely
million?
live my-
Do I get $1 million before or after taxes?
If I had $127 million
on a tenth of that, I barely live my life, and so it would help.
I don't know if I don't know where we are with time. I was looking.
We are
down the
out
list.
of time.
All right. Number 84, John. This is for you, Anthony Volpe.
Hell yeah.
Number
I scrolled down and saw
85,
that.
Carlos
kid's a hero.
Rodon. Carlos Rodon is number 85. Come on.
Volpe,
Are they really in the top 100? Are they
listen
really
to
in the
this for
top
a second,
100?
okay? Anthony Volpe had one of the best baseball moments of 2024, and I don't think you could convince me otherwise.
What happened?
I'm not gonna
Anthony
try, 'cause I don't know what
Volpe,
you're
who
talking
was
about.
Anthony Volpe is a lifetime Yankee fan. Grew up in Manhattan. He went to the parade when they won in 1996. He was 8 years old and it was 1996 or 1999, I forgot. But he was a Derek Jeter fan. Okay, so Anthony Volpe in the World Series before it crashed so spectacularly hit a grand slam in the game that they won. A grand slam in Yankee Stadium. So after the game, he sits on the in the ESPN interview booth. He sits next to Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter tells him he's a hero. Kids are going to look up to you. How fucking incredible is that for a lifetime?
For your
Do
hero,
that.
your
For
hero
your
to tell
hero
you that you're a hero.
tell you you're a baseball hero on television.
Did Volpe break into tears right there? Because I feel like that
I
would have been.
would have cried.
Right, that would-
I
like,
mean,
I don't
the pure
cry very
joy
much, but
when he hit that
anyone
grand
that does,
slam.
man, that would have been the biggest tear-jerking moment ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
The pure joy on his face when he hit that grand slam, I think, speaks for itself. It was, and I think it's more poignant because he's not one of the necessarily superstars, right? He's not the Aaron Judge, he's not the Shotani or whatever, or Otani. He's a good player, but like I said, the pure joy when that actually happened for him, when he did the thing that he stepped up at the plate to actually do, it was great. I will agree with you, John. That was a good moment of baseball.
He's
2024.
He's 23. He was a.
I didn't realize he was that young.
He's a first full season rookie. He goes to the World Series and he lives a life dream.
And I mean, to get that affirmation directly from Mark's all right, come on, let's
Mark can go sit at Barstool and hang out with Portnoy and his negative ass.
To get that affirmation though from a living legend in baseball, it would be pretty freaking cool.
Listen, Mike, you knew this was going to happen when you invited another Yankee fan on the podcast.
That's true. When you knew there were two Yankees fans on the podcast, you knew you were
I've been pretty quiet.
This is my own goddamn fault, because usually a lot of times John's guests that he invites, they're the ones that are from the New York area, so they're New York sports. Yeah. Eric, you're technically my guest, but yes, I invited the Yankee
your own
fan
doing,
this
Mark.
time. So.
Eric, and we need to move on, but Eric, do you agree with me? One of the best moments of 2024 MLB season?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think just to even touch on Mark's point real quick.
What else is going to say on that?
I think it was terrible.
No, John, you're wrong.
Actually.
The rankings, I think, for Volpe and Rodon, I think are interesting. I don't necessarily know if I'd rank them that high, but I think
I wouldn't rank them that high.
If they I'm still bullish on Rodon. I think that he's sort of been ruled out because of his bad verse season. Last year, he was pretty good. I think he
had 1 year, good year. Before that, he was the janitor of Yankee Stadium, right, John?
He was hurt.
Right, John?
Yeah, I mean, he was very bad in 22. I mean, 23 was was a dark time, but he was hurt. I don't know.
I can't believe
this is the year to prove. That's what I would maintain.
How long?
We'll see.
Wait.
This is the year to prove it himself.
Pete, you're my witness. How many times did John just talk down about Rodon?
Listen.
He's the worst. He's the worst pitcher in the world.
23.
He only deserves to clean up the shit in the Yankee
was a
Stadium bathrooms.
dark time.
It's
and now
definitely been some tough love.
Garrett Cole has his arm tied to his shirt, so he's gonna have to step the fuck up.
He only has the one good arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we?
We are at time, bro.
Mark, if you need a reprieve for one of these, I got one.
Actually, I like this next one. Hold on.
Go for it.
It's going down. It's the next topic. You better move. You better talk. Let's start with one, and then we'll tangent to be the one. You won't forget. You won't forget.
Whoa, multiple lyric changes in this one.
Woo.
Like it.
All right, before we stray away, I do have one more baseball question. So we did touch on this a little. The new evil empire continues to get richer. The Dodgers are on track to win 162 games this season, going out to 7-0, and it seems like no one has any interest in stopping them.
I think they're 8-0
this week,
now.
the Dodgers, they're 8-0 now because I wrote this on Tuesday. The Dodgers acquired speedy outfielder Estuary Ruiz from the A's, who set an American League rookie record with 67 stolen bases in 2023 in exchange for a minor league right-hander. And he didn't do great last year, so I do get that. But with this week marred by Roki Sasaki having a terrible first MLB game and being accused of cheating, and Mookie Betts forgetting how to turn a double play and literally throwing the ball away, even though they still won, they still find a way to win. So who do you think what do you think the MLB thinks of the Dodgers' dominance, and do we think the idea of a best team suits the story that they're trying to tell? And really across sports, like the Cavs, like the Chiefs, what do professional sports think about a best team?
Are you equating the Cavs to the Dodgers? I mean, the Chiefs I get. Everyone hates the Chiefs.
Everyone hates the Chiefs.
No, who hates the Cavs?
I don't know about the Cavs.
I hate the Cavs.
That's because the Knicks are still the number 3 seed.
But the point of this, though, is, I mean, I do feel like sports leagues and commissioners and whoever's, the big brass of these leagues, like, they lean into it. For sure, right? They want the big hero. They want...
I mean, what's the good story, though? You have a villain, right? The Dodgers have become the villain of baseball.
You have a villain in the United States, and you have a hero in Japan.
Exactly.
But
Shohei Ohtani.
You have a whole new
who's the hero?
Shohei Ohtani.
But hey,
Ohtani,
you know what?
He's on the villain team, though.
But he is the hero of Japan. He is the reason that entire country is tuning into MLB right now.
It's an underdog story now. Now every team, including somehow the fucking Yankees, are an underdog compared to the Dodgers
in the United States.
And so if someone beats the Dodgers, then everyone's gonna celebrate because
you believe in miracles. Yes.
Hey, Mark, I'm gonna tell you a secret.
The miracle on the green.
No one's gonna beat the Dodgers.
You think they're going to be
Padres
162
are undefeated too.
There's still a lot of baseball to play.
They took the Dodgers to 7 games last year in the playoffs.
Okay, but even as the clear villain, right? The MLB would still love this because
they would love it. They love it.
Think about it.
They eat it up.
People hate watch this shit and hate talking about it, right?
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
Like Howard Stern.
People watch watch football for one reason, because they hated the Chiefs.
Sure.
They hated the Chiefs.
But I bet you those Chiefs games had the highest ratings from outside of Kansas City because everybody wanted to see some team try to beat them, right?
You see the friggin'
that is a true fact.
Like just the fest that they had at the All-Star game, East versus West, Judge versus Ohtani.
It should be Dodgers versus the rest of the league, right?
I mean,
that was the All-Star game last year.
But that's a hell of a story.
They love this best player, best team, evil empire bullshit. They love it. And I think all sports loves it.
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Well, you got to talk about it, right? People are talking about it. Go ahead, Eric.
Ohtani is a model who happens to be a baseball player, too. Like, in Japan, he's literally everywhere. Like, he has more endorsement deals than he's making... Not just this year, but I think even like in the peak salary contract.
I mean, that's how he designed his contract, right? Is to make all of his advert money up front.
Did you guys his home run celebration his walk off last night was a reference to one of his endorsement deals in Japan for cologne.
Are you serious?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, hell, I'm jealous of his dog. His dog has more followers than we do.
And here's the thing, like, this is not an accident.
His dog has more money than we do, too, Mark. Come on.
More money than we do, yeah.
And
probably paid less in taxes than I did.
Well, that's how it works, right?
Probably true.
At least in the U.S.
For sure, less taxes than John did.
He has better accountants and lawyers than you.
That's also true. Yeah. Hopefully,
I love my accountant, though. I love my accountant, though.
Yeah, you have an accountant. Anyway, what I was saying is, it is not an accident that the Asian population in California is so high, and that they have literally the Japanese national team. At the relationship, you have to listen to the whole thing, Mark. They have the Japanese national team pitching for them.
They've got
thing.
I forgot about that. They've got like some of the top players coming out of Japan, right? They're all on the Dodgers. Is that it?
It's literally,
and it also makes sense personally, right? Like it makes sense that he would live in California as opposed to Ohio or New York or wherever, because then he can go back more easily. Not necessarily, not that it's an easy journey, but that he could go back.
This is not just because they're Asian. They literally have the starting rotation of the Japanese national team on their team.
They do.
They literally have it.
Yeah,
this is not like a stretch. With the same players are
even though he's not pitching, he's still not pitching, Jonathan.
He is still not pitching, which is kind of wild, actually. Like, because the bill of goods that I was sold when I didn't follow him before he came up or whatever. He sort of like came into baseball and everybody was losing their shit about him, and I was sort of like, why is this guy such a big deal? I don't understand. And they're like, because he can hit and he can pitch. When has that ever happened?
Movies have been made about
and
that.
I was like, oh, okay, like cool. And then I've never really actually seen him pitch yet.
Second time Tommy John, he literally is too valuable to pitch. It's too valuable.
We just want to know that he can.
He can. But the Angels were bad, and the Dodgers are good.
I've seen it.
The Angels needed him to pitch, and the Dodgers won't try.
Why do they need? He doesn't need to pitch though. Like you
said,
I mean,
I guess right. If their bullpen is strong enough,
they already have like.
Yeah, by the time all of their
not
pitchers
counting him
hit the IL, he'll be ready to go.
There you go.
That's what happened last year.
Well, here's the thing that made me a little happy. Sasaki struggled. Sasaki struggled. Actually, Sasaki was he was accused of cheating with tech. He had a tech accusation against him in his one game that he played very bad. So
he's a Japanese Garrett.
You got cheating in the game that he played bad. Irony.
Because he couldn't figure his tech out. That's what the guy said. And we don't need your Garrett Cole bullshit. That man is injured. Don't talk about him like that.
Speaking ill of the dead.
We'd like to thank another fake sponsor, Nova Nest Pet Beds. Give your furry friend the VIP treatment. Nova Nest Pet Beds, where comfort curls up and stays.
Aww.
All right, Pete, you want to do a next topic song?
Well, it would have been a little bit more prevalent in the previous topic, but I was just going to do like, if I had $1 million, if I had $1 million, I'd give you this next topic. A most exceptional next topic it will be. Yeah, but not a real next topic. That's right. Yes. that was better than what I had in my head.
Totally works.
Amazing.
All right, so oddly enough, the biggest thing in sports right now is probably March Madness, and we waited until the month of May to talk about it. Oh, I'm sorry, April. It's April, isn't it?
It's only April.
April is very skippable.
I'm looking at my script and I'm reading it. I still said May. I don't know. So the Final Four.
Why do you have a script?
I do have a script. Yes. So the Final Four is set up for both the men's and women's teams, but something happened on the men's side that's only happened once before, in that all number 1 seeds made it to the national semifinals. Now, 2 of them come from the Southeast Conference. One is a perennial favorite, Duke, from the ACC, and finally a big Texas team from Houston is the last one. With college sports now fully entrenched in the era of name, image, and likeness, and the transfer portal, some experts seem to think this is going to happen more and more, with the line between college and professional athletes very blurred and essentially non-existent now. So everyone, is it good for the NCAA that the men's basketball teams have all number 1 seeds? And can we attribute this to NIL and the transfer portal?
Yes, next topic. And it's bad.
That saved us some time.
I just want to call out to all of the people who made brackets who don't know a goddamn thing about basketball and just put all of the number ones because they were like,
they look like geniuses,
They're
right?
just gonna, I want to call out to all of them. I see you and I feel you.
But like, I don't know anything about basketball, and I would still not do that.
DraftKings.
Not a sponsor, but you could be.
You could be. That'd be a lot of.
I mean, that's the thing.
A lot of clout right there.
One of the best parts about March Madness is number one seeds going out in the first round and the second round. People love that shit. People eat that shit up.
Cinderella.
There's always some bracket buster that happens.
And the problem is that they're too fucking good. You can't beat Duke. You can't beat Cooper Flagg and three other guys who are almost as good as he is. Like, you can't. It's impossible. They're better than you. They're just better than you.
But I mean, going to the other SEC teams, like you have Auburn, and you have Florida.
Forgive you.
SEC teams that get a lot of money from football. So, in a lot of respects, they might be transferring that back into basketball and paying the players through the football funds. It's very possible.
Is that legal?
So the SEC did. It is now, Pete.
It is now. Yeah.
The SEC did something that no other conference has done. It had 14 teams in the national tournament. That's 14 out of 68 teams were from one conference. And this conference is really known for football, not really basketball.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, and two of them were number one seeds, and those are the ones that made it into the final.
But Mark, shut the fuck up. Oliver Rio is 7'9". their center is 7'9".
I mean, so am I.
In college?
Exactly.
Oh wait.
Yeah, he's 7'9". He is a monster.
And he's probably getting paid a lot of money to be on that team.
He's not done growing, just to be clear.
He's a mammoth of a man.
What the fuck? Like, that's taller than Manute Bol, and Manute Bol was like one of the most famous, like, ridiculously tall basketball players of all time. Damn.
Let's see.
I mean, they're only getting taller.
Isn't that taller than Yao Ming even?
Yeah, he was
like Yao Ming was like the tallest.
15.
Yao Ming was 7'6".
Okay.
This guy is a complete freak of nature. They're winning games because no one can score in the paint. That's why Florida's winning. And yes,
well, you don't have to score in the paint. You can shoot threes.
He's probably very well paid. But I mean, I agree with you, by the way, that NIL and making college teams essentially professional is a problem for all the college sports, all of it, across the board.
7'9", you got to assume his wingspan's 8 foot. So really, if he does this and a little he can block wherever.
Yeah, that's insane.
Whatever.
And by the way,
wait, is he like lanky?
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do again?
Do it, yeah.
Yink.
Unlike Wemby, Oliver Yu is 305 pounds. Oliver Yu is a absolute juggernaut.
Okay, so
that probably means he can't really move.
Right, so he's
himself.
not a 7'9" beanpole. He's like actually like 7'9" and jacked, is what you're saying.
He's super Shaq.
Yeah, he doesn't need to move. Is the
Super
point?
Shaq. I like the Super Shaq.
You still need to move up and down the court.
Super Shaq.
He still needs to move up and down the court. If he's over 300 pounds, I can only imagine how long he's going to last in an NBA game.
Maybe, but Mark, at 7'9", 300 pounds doesn't seem like a whole lot.
Yeah, but he might need a lot of strides. That's still a lot of effort to like move that giant ass fucking tree trunk.
He's not a fat guy. He's 7'9".
Right, that's the thing.
Big.
A 7'9" frame, 300
big.
pounds is not necessarily that big a deal.
Unfortunately, that means he's probably going to have knee issues later on.
Well, yeah, because everybody who's over 7 foot has knee issues, Mark. I have knee issues, and I'm not over 6 foot. So.
This is why
he's fucking 19.
This is why I'm a large proponent of like preliminary ACL like enhancement surgeries for these players. Why not?
Fair.
Why not?
So Florida.
We talked about this last week, having preemptive Tommy John surgery. Come on.
Florida is in the movie.
These are important too.
Like I said,
where
he's
Cooper
not
Flagg,
done growing. He's 19. He's not done growing.
Where Cooper Flagg is the good guy, right? Cooper Flagg is the main character, and Oliver Yu is the shark that comes in on the bad guy team and kicks his ass. I mean, like, oh my god.
Damn.
So anyway,
is going hard in the motherfucking paint the new market inefficiency?
Yes.
I think so.
I mean, Wemby went number one for sure. I don't think Ryu goes to the NBA this year, but Flagg definitely does.
At 19,
Flagg is potentially the number one seed.
Flagg is the number one pick.
Player. Yeah, number one pick.
People are salivating for Cooper Flagg.
Eric, to answer your question, I mean, the 3-pointer has become a huge part of the game of basketball in both college and pros. And one thing that we're seeing more of is our centers, like that's shooting threes. Like Wemby can shoot threes. He's 7'4", 5'18", whatever he is now. And he can shoot 3-pointers.
7'18".
Could you imagine like the centers back in the day, like Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq shooting 3-pointers? Shaq couldn't even shoot a free throw.
I don't need to shoot the free throw.
He probably would have been more accurate shooting from like full court than from the free throw line.
Feels right.
Well, I mean, you see, oh, geez. That's so crazy. Anyway.
Are we done?
Yeah, we've been done. We've been done for a while. I was going to say something, and I was like, wait, we're way over time.
If you saw that kind of fake Steph Curry shot from like across the court?
No, Steph does those. He does those before games.
He does it all the time. He does it all the time.
Those are not fake. Steph is
I am not wowed by Steph Curry anymore because, you know, he's just fucking around.
Steph Curry did a really
desensitized to how good he is. That's why.
It wasn't fake so much as like it looked like it.
No, I don't think it was fake.
The net,
yeah,
and it only like hit the bottom of the net, and it was like, okay, well now that sucks. Like that's not impressive anymore.
Yeah, Steph's shoot around is to walk in the stands and shoot basketballs from the upper decks. Like that's how he fucks around with the fans before the game starts. Steph is
I love that for him.
Damn.
I do love that for him. All right, somebody sing me a song because we are going to go over time. It's 11:04.
Mark's got a bunch.
We got 3 questions left, guys.
Say something, it's next topic from you. And I'll be the one who will win it too. Anything you will bring up or do. Say something, it's next topic from you.
That was epic.
It was good.
All right, guys. No more sports. Sorry.
We're done with sports.
Done with sports.
Okay.
All right. So with TikTok's latest sell or divest deadline happening tomorrow, that's actually tomorrow, Amazon, of all people, has put in a last-minute bid to acquire the popular video app. This bid came via an offer letter addressed to none other than our favorite couch fucker, J.D. Vance, and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and highlights maneuvering in Washington related to TikTok's ownership and security concerns by the current federal government. So, so what do we think of TikTok as a national security concern? Is this smart foreign policy or an attempt to take control of another version of truth in this country?
So, I mean, they can't actually sell to Amazon, right? Like, isn't there like a Chinese law that they can't sell an algorithm to a foreign nation? So they can't actually sell TikTok to the U.S., right?
I mean, Amazon wants it. And Amazon, A, wants it, and B,
of course Amazon wants
is officially asking for it. I mean,
there's
Bezos
a lot of
is a rich
people
asshole
who want it and are asking for it. But like I said, it would take it out of the corporate realm and I think bring it into, which it already sort of is, but like officially into the political realm, right? Where it would be officially the Chinese government talking to the U.S. government if it was in fact already, which I believe it is, outlawed for the U.S. for a Chinese company to sell an algorithm to a foreign entity, is my understanding.
Intellectual property, right?
I did not know that actually about the Chinese law. That's interesting.
I did not come across that, so I am just trusting
an algorithm.
I am just trusting Lillian's research, which I know she did. So,
according to the Washington Post, I believe.
Listen, I don't believe this is a real thing. I mean, I believe that Amazon wants to buy TikTok. However, I don't think that ByteDance.
Well, I mean, does TikTok shut down?
Of TikTok?
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Does it shut down tomorrow?
I'm not going to shut down.
Nope.
Why?
No, I don't think so.
Sell or divest.
Like I said, they're allowed to lease an algorithm, and they're allowed to do a lot of different things. And I don't. So Trump wants to be popular, right? I don't think that his like pathway to popularity is shutting down TikTok, which is wildly popular with
people have
quite a few
praised
people.
him for saving TikTok.
Right.
There's no way he's going to shut it down.
I don't think he wants to be that guy.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those things that's just like a political notch, and you know, whoever talks about this stuff, like senators' belts, where they'll say, "Hey, we stood up to big TikTok, and like we don't like it," and it's just going to keep getting delayed and
even
delayed
though they don't know
and
what an
delayed
algorithm
and delayed.
is.
No, they don't
in
know any of
mind-
this stuff. Like, they don't
Keep in mind
understand
his
it.
first.
I don't understand it.
Don't
They
forget,
sure as hell
his
don't.
first presidency, he was trying to ban TikTok himself.
Well, right.
Lest we forget that.
But
Okay, so
I mean,
I
It's
want
not
to.
getting
I
shut
want to.
down.
from a
I
national
wanna-
security
I don't
perspective.
Yeah, I want to pivot a little bit, and I want to pivot from whether
your
or not it's going
topic.
to
Why do you
happen.
wanna pivot from your
No.
topic?
I want to pivot in the fucking topic. I want to pivot to the fact that we see how toxic and how politically biased X is right now. So
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Why the fuck is Elon Musk buying Twitter?" Well, he bought Twitter to control the truth, and I think this is a really, really important point because there
agree.
are too many stupid people in this country, and the stupid people are going to believe what their phone serves them. And so what better thing than to get another app that people trust for their truth in the pocket of a political party?
Yeah, so that's obviously the motivation of the
Yeah,
U.S. government
for
to own, but that's also the motivation for China to not let them own it, right? Is because then China can control the narrative of whatever they want.
And China
US
loves
population.
controlling the truth.
Even though they're saying they're
Of
not
course
doing
they
that,
do.
right?
Yeah, China.
They're definitely doing
Well,
it.
that's
Right.
what every
China's like-
algorithm does, whether that's the intention or not. That's all. That's ultimately what every algorithm does. And we could talk all day about the responsibility of the people that own these companies and what they should be doing. But ultimately, what they are doing doesn't match up to what they should be doing in any
Unlimited
realm.
money.
Yes.
And there's some people that are doing it better, and some that are, not even trying. But it's like I said, I think that it's ultimately a sort of balanced thing, because as much as the U.S. is like, haha, now we can control our politics if we whatever, the Chinese government is like, yeah, we can control your politics if we own it. So,
Right, yeah.
Eric,
Why
you've been
would we
pretty
sell
quiet.
it?
You've been pretty quiet on this topic. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
No, I mean, I already hate the current social media climate as it is. I think it's beyond toxic. I don't think it's going to get less toxic if the same three people
without a
own
doubt,
all
without a doubt.
of the social
Antitrust.
media that America consumes.
Well, Elon Musk just got fired by Trump, so
We'll see.
he lost his episode of The Apprentice, so that's done.
yeah,
Was he,
fine.
was he
He
actually
did.
fired?
You buy it.
I
I'll
heard
believe
like
that
a
when I
nebulous,
see that
like
he's
he'll step
completely
down.
I'll believe
He's
it when I
legally
see it.
required to
As
step
of
down into-
today, they are divesting from him. He is no longer in charge, or at least that's what I heard.
Officially, he can't as of June.
One
He was
more
never
month.
appointed. He was never really
Right.
appointed anyway, but
Yeah.
No, because he said he was the guy in the state
was a
of the
contractor.
state or the State
He
of
was
the
a
Union. He said
contractor.
he was the guy, and then Tesla pretty much imploded, and
literally imploded.
This
in some
whole
way.
Yeah.
$1 million Wisconsin judge thing pretty much failed. They lost that vote, even though-
25 million.
pretty much
yeah.
failed. They lost by 10 points.
that failed, and so Elon is a bit of a loser at the
you
moment.
need to learn
and they
how to
need
buy an election better.
They need to
He's a bit of a
separate.
loser
moment.
always.
Well, yes, but
Like-
now for real.
The only thing he has going for him is money.
Well, yeah.
That's a big
He really,
thing.
he really isn't anything that the Republicans should like, to be honest. Like, immigrant, kind of a failed businessman. Well, maybe they do like those.
That's
I take it
assuming
back.
the Republicans are even. That's assuming the Republican ideology even matches what the Republican ideology is that we think it
That's-
is, and it
fair.
is not. It hasn't
You
been
can
for
fail
20
at a
years.
business. You just got to blame someone
No.
else.
Oh,
No.
that's true. I mean, to
I would
be
argue-
fair,
yeah.
that's true of
Totally.
politics regardless. But yeah, 100%
Yeah.
that I think it's more highlighted on the Republican side because I think they're pretty loud about what they believe and everything, and then
But they don't
it's
practice
just
what they preach.
so hard to see the strong contradictions. Like the number of times in a day that I see people retweeting old Donald Trump tweets that are like owning himself from a few years ago is astronomical.
Because nothing he ever says is actually the truth or actually something legitimate. It's just not. Yeah. And yet, actually,
they don't run on like. They don't run on
platforms.
Beliefs.
Yeah.
No.
They run on winning.
Yeah.
Yes, the party does. And as far as like, I heard an interesting theory on this. Is basically like Trump is the ultimate Rorschach test, where his devout followers project.
They see what they want to see.
Right. Their followers project onto Trump that whatever Trump says, because Trump says everything on every side, contradicting himself every time. But his followers just believe the side of that they feel aligns best with them, and thus they feel connected with him.
That is a really good analogy.
That is a good analogy.
Yeah, I forget there are a lot of stupid people in the world, and they will believe what they want to believe.
Yeah, and that's the other problem.
That is a true fact.
That's not an I mean. There are a lot of stupid people in the world. We can never make a test for voting because that's not the way this country works. But there are a lot of people.
Well, and I wouldn't want to.
In some respects, there should be. No, in some respects, there should be.
But that undermines the whole point of the whole democracy.
That's the road. Yeah,
I don't know.
No matter how dumb you are,
I think a misguided vote in a lot of respects is worse than a no vote.
No, well, I mean, for your desired outcome, that's true. But if the issue is that a stupid voter is voting for a stupid candidate, then the non-stupid people need to be better at communicating. Because, like, I don't think that there should be a test. I don't think that we are a democracy. We're a straight democracy.
Well,
so if you're not good enough, a good enough communicator. That's on you.
I kind of agree with that.
Vote.
I kind of agree with that.
The non-stupid people need to vote.
I think, I think an overwhelming majority of people voted for Trump because they didn't want to vote for Democrat again. They equated Kamala Harris with Joe Biden, even though she did run on a couple different platforms, but they just see Democrat versus Republican, and they wanted something different, so they voted Republican, even though it happened to be Donald Trump.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's totally fair, right?
People will 100%.
That's a stupid reason to vote, though.
It is stupid. But I understand.
His ads about trans people and all of that were extremely impactful, which is just sort of speaking to the fact that people are not educated on.
Most people don't think big picture.
Stupid voters, and that's not fair, right? Yeah. But like,
most people can't see big picture, and I think now we're kind of suffering.
And that's also fair though, because the economy. The economy suffering is a reason that the people cannot see the big picture, right? Like if all you're focused on is feeding your family and all you're focused on is getting to your next job being able to make ends meet, like you're not going to have the spare time and the spare mental bandwidth in order to do in-depth research on every single one of these topics and be more than a single voter.
And we have to end. But by the way, Lillian, you are 100% right. The reason Trump won in 2016 and the reason he won in
2016 too.
The reason he won in 2016 and the reason he won in 2024 is that middle America people are suffering. They don't have jobs. They don't have enough money. And they are voting with their wallets because people will always vote selfishly. And we forget that those people outnumber us. They matter. And
they matter. Exactly.
And they don't understand that this is not like there were so many stories.
So
where
why vote against their own self-interest?
I'm getting there, Pete.
Okay,
there are so many stories where stupid blue-collar Americans who don't have enough money voted for Trump, went into their factories the next day, got fired because their factory owners are like, I can't support you with these upcoming tariffs. That happened, but they don't know.
And like I said, I don't want to call them stupid.
Calling them stupid is reductionist. It's and the elitism that they think that the average Democrat is where I'll just calling them stupid. Like,
I don't want to feed into that narrative.
Like,
I hear you.
Yeah, the reality is that the dialogue has just shifted, and the dialogue has shifted from traditional news platforms to social media. And social media is so easily corrupted and so easily manipulated.
Way to bring it back.
Oh, he brought it back.
It totally is. It totally is. And those people are my family members, right? Like those people, and I think there are some of all of our family members that are some of those people, right? So it's like I don't want to just be like, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're not voting with me. Like call out.
Don't worry, my family all voted for Trump, and they're all idiots. So.
And sometimes that's true, but
no, but I think we can universally agree, and we do need to move on, but we can universally agree that people will vote selfishly, and the economy hasn't been good, and it isn't going to get better.
And it historically and continues to not be good under Republican.
It's not going to get better.
Governance.
This is going to be the first quarter in a long, long time that the GDP did not grow.
Yep. Take a look at
People
your phone.
People are not spending money.
To throw it back to an old Trump tweet, he said, if a president is sitting, a president should immediately be impeached if the Dow drops more than 1,000 points in a single day.
Oh, yeah, that's happened a couple times.
Anyway, all right, let's move on.
Moving on.
So wake me up when it's all over. When I'm wiser and I'm older, all this time about the next topic, didn't know I was lost.
We did know we were lost. We get on tangents sometimes.
Oh my God, that was insane.
Last episode was a perfect example of my new thing, super tangents.
I've been mentioning tangents. I've been mentioning tangents in my next topic songs, guys. All right, so we're gonna fit an NBA topic in here, but it's also something that can be discussed amongst all sports. So the Minnesota Timberwolves and Detroit Pistons, who are both battling for playoff position in their respective conferences, decided to literally battle it out on the basketball court after a somewhat controversial foul, and the fight even spilled into the crowd. And former Nova Knicks great Dante DiVincenzo took umbrage when Ron Holland II shoved him out of the way after having words with teammate Naz Reid. These tussles are something that we used to see a lot more in sports, including one of my favorite fights between John's least favorite player, Alex Rodriguez, who coincidentally is about to purchase the Timberwolves, and former Red Sox great Jason Varitek, that say some sparked the Red Sox to break the curse of the Bambino. Sorry, John. So everyone, do we miss heated
beat up an old man
in sports?
Shouldn't punch old men. Come on.
Jason Varitek, come on.
I do.
He is.
It is.
The guy's caught 4 no-hitters. Come on.
It is fun to see that epic clash of like two, especially when the two players are great.
I don't
right to see them just so passionate, heated in their.
I miss hatred in team sports. I miss hatred.
I don't need.
I think it still exists amongst fans. I think it still exists among fans. To be fair.
I don't need bench clearing brawls. I think that's pretty dumb. It's pretty distracting. It's always been pretty distracting.
Oh, but John, when the goalies even go at it, though, isn't that fun?
I like
goalie fight.
That is fun. The goalie fights are fun.
Right?
That's a separate tangent, though.
I like fan rivalry a lot. Fan rivalry is a lot of fun. And, like, the MLB has always been designed, the schedule, to sort of pinpoint those big weekends, those big games. The Yankees play the Yankees play the Red Sox more than they play anybody. They play the Orioles a lot. They play the Blue Jays a lot. Like, they play teams that are very important and hateful. But that's why the divisions are set up the way they are. You know when the Steelers and the Bengals play each other, that's a big game, right? So that matters. All that stuff really matters. So the fan rivalry, I think, is a lot more important than the player rivalry.
No, I like the play. I love it when teams hated other teams. Like I'm remembering the Celtics and Lakers rivalry back in the 80s when Kurt Rambis and Kevin McHale started fighting. Like, come on,
Larry Bird was just an asshole.
I will say, for me,
Larry Bird was an asshole.
I think it depends on the sport. So, like, MLB, I don't need the teams like clearing the benches and storming the field or whatever. Like, there's so many games in baseball. There's so and people trade themselves. So like being able to be like, Aaron Judge on the Yankees, and then in 2 years he's a Red Sox. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like,
Shut your fucking mouth.
That's not going to happen.
Worst example possible. What are you doing, Lillian?
Now I'm waiting to see like John's icon go down there and just start fighting.
You just gave John and Eric a heart attack.
We're gonna start a fight on this exact podcast to demonstrate the whole point.
You know,
of
she
this
said
topic.
last fucking time. She said the
Eric
last
and I are
time that
bullies.
Aaron Rodgers was going to be a fucking giant, and that shit almost happened, and I almost.
I did say that.
Hey, it still could happen.
That's amazing.
Still could happen.
No, we have so many quarterbacks.
He hasn't signed with anyone yet.
That's Joe Shee's plan. He's just going to steal all the quarterbacks.
They're gonna run a 3-quarter option.
But for like, especially the NFL, I think because there's less games and there's more people and everything, like
definitely
when the
need
start,
more.
NFL rivalries are the best. You're
They're the
totally
best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're the
Listen, John, as a Giants fan, you hate the Eagles, you hate the Cowboys. I mean, you kind of like the Redskins, but that's only kind of Jaden Daniels. But
well, Commanders now.
I'm
but
sorry.
yes.
I'm sorry. The Commanders.
It's okay. I know. I do the same thing.
Guys are such racists.
Good Lord.
But come on.
Especially
I mean,
Mark.
not John. Pete. How much are you going to hate the Patriots now that Stephon Diggs is on the Patriots?
So much.
Honestly, not really. Like, not as much because I like Stephon Diggs. I feel
Yeah,
like
I know because the Bills still kick the Pats.
Also, he's a little washed, Mark.
it'll mean
You're
more
a little
if
washed.
okay, yeah, Mark. It'll mean more if Diggs is
He's a
still the
little
team and
washed.
producing, and the Patriots are now winning 10, 11 games, and it's like, okay, now we're talking. Right? Then it's going to
But
be
I mean,
like, okay, let's go.
I mean, there's always those
the
players,
NFL has-
right? There's
the
always
NFL has
those
it going.
players that are like, you hate them if they're on the opposite team, and you love them if they're on your team, right? Like, there's always specific
Unless they're Aaron
players.
Rodgers or Alex Rodriguez, we hate them wherever they are.
Yeah, those are just
That's fair.
universally hated. That's true.
That's true.
I respect that, Mark, because it goes back to the main point. Like, you hate them.
Exactly. That's what the NFL has, I think, going against all other leagues is the fact they have these heated rivalries. And you're right, John, in a lot of respects, it's mainly amongst the fan base.
Well-
but I really miss it when the athletes seem to have a little bit more passion and how they played because they just hated the other team.
And like I said, I think I see that more in the NFL than like the MLB, right? Like we just saw Juan Soto go to the Mets, right? Like that's, you know.
I'm really glad.
But
I'm really glad they're losing.
to a point,
Yeah.
it was Lillian or Eric made.
Soda.
Yeah, like
I'm really very glad.
one of the two of you made too. That it's like part of that is just honestly the game structure and the season structure. Like NFL is only 16 games, 17 games, and so each one means a hell of a lot more. So
Well-
you lose to a division rival, and that's a big deal. Whereas in baseball, it's like I got 161 other one of these things. Who cares?
And we
Well,
just
that's why they
watched a
play-
game where like what was it?
Pete.
The
mean,
Reds,
number of
the Reds
games in
and the
a
Brewers, right?
baseball.
Where they were
No,
both former
62.
Yankees.
No. He did it right. He's playing one game, but there's 161 more. Pete did the math right.
He did the math right.
I could have been
and like I
theorizing
said-
on the first game of the season.
And then MLB,
What
like
you putting down,
just
Pete?
you see a lot more crossover, right? Like I said, with the Reds and the Brewers playing each other, they were both former Yankees, and so like they had a history, they had a love for each other, even though they're on opposite teams now. They're like, that's my boy, that's my guy. Like, you know, like you just see a lot more of that versus the NFL. Well, yeah, there's some crossover and stuff, but with less season, less games, and I think at least partially more heated rivalries, in my opinion. Like I said, you're not really gonna see like Joe Burrow going to play for the Steelers. Like that's just not in the realm of possibility.
Oh, no.
Oh no, that would
Like-
never
Well,
ever happen.
he never leaves.
No, and
It's just not in the realm of possibility.
since he would
gonna
never
do my,
trade to a division rival.
Exactly. So
Eric, my every time I'm on this podcast, I advocate for the NHL because it's arguably the best league in sports.
We
And
never talk
agree with
about it.
I know.
I'd agree with
It's a
that. I'd agree with that.
but unfortunately, I have to talk shit about the NHL because on this topic there was
Because we
almost
never
a
talk
goalie
about it.
fight. There was almost a goalie fight. Just
They
this last
broke it
week.
up. You're absolutely right.
What?
Yes.
Darcy
Why?
Kemper and
That's
Jeremy
true.
Swayman. They wanted
That's
to
true.
fight.
Oh,
The NHL refs broke them up immediately, and
that's
and like
unfortunate.
Which is sad.
Like-
It is sad.
Like I
Let
understand.
them fight. Let them fight.
The Canadian USA fighting in the beginning of the rivals game, that was one of the best moments in hockey in the last.
Like that's so fucking cool. Yeah,
Hatred. We need more hatred in sports.
All right, very real. Like it felt very important.
Rivalry.
Mark,
Yes.
do you know what time it is?
Oh.
It's the final topic.
All right, guys. I know I brought us down last week at the end of the show, so we're gonna.
And you're gonna do it again.
We're talking about.
I've read ahead.
About ice cream, guys. We're gonna talk about ice cream. So this week, Ben Cohen, co-founder of Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream, has appealed to its corporate
this is a little bit of a
parent.
downer.
It's a little bit of a downer.
It's
a trick.
There's
It's a
hope.
trap.
It's a bit of a downer.
That's good.
Its corporate parent company Unilever to sell the brand back to them. So Ben & Jerry's started in 1978, but Unilever bought the brand back in 2000 for $326 million and agreed to let an independent board oversee the brand's social justice mission. However, this week, CEO David Stever was fired for advocating for social justice issues like Black Lives Matter, DE&I in general, and defunding the police. So Cohen, hearing this, publicly is asking for his namesake brand to be set free and is trying to gather investors to keep Ben & Jerry's true to the mission in which it was founded. So do we think Ben & Jerry deserves their company back? How dark is the timeline that America's favorite ice cream is a casualty of anti-DE&I sentiment?
Oh boy.
And yes, it's
everything's already a DEI sentiment casualty, right? Like the Enola Gay was a casualty of DEI sentiment. So. But no, I think this is a good thing. I think this is a good sign. I think they are giving people hope, honestly.
It's
like
the
this
fight.
is
the fight. I love it.
This is the fight.
Yeah.
This is the fight. Like this is
Yes, more hatred.
yes, more hatred.
There you go. You're
There's
missing
more
in
diversity.
you're missing in
There's more
sports.
division.
You got it in ice cream, Mark. There you go.
Less hatred. I think that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, like a corporation actually being like, yeah, we don't just care about profits and we care about our actual mission statement. Like,
no, but Unilever just cares about profits.
Yeah.
That's literally all they care
that's
about.
what it's supposed to
Yeah.
be. That was the intent of
That's
this
what it's
agreement.
supposed to be.
And
them actually saying like, hey, this isn't actually meeting up to our standards, so we're not meeting it. Like, I love that. I absolutely love that. It's like, it's the reason that people use Chewy, right? Like, I had to use Chewy recently, and I was like, oh, by the way, you missed something in my order or whatever, and they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We're sending it right away. I hope that Juno and all of the rest of your furry crew don't miss this too much. We love you all. Like, and it was like a personalized email. And
so do we
Goes, fuck you.
These balls for 20% off your next order.
do we think that Ben Cohen, an actual American hero, right, will be able to buy back his company?
No.
I think if he started a GoFundMe, he could probably buy back his company.
That'd be a lot of money.
Yeah,
though.
I think so.
Unilever?
It's a lot of money.
Unilever?
It's a lot of money.
That'd be a hell of
Unilever-
a fucking GoFundMe.
It absolutely is. Unilever was one of my major competitors when I worked for Procter & Gamble, right? And like that, I understand it's a big market, it's a big company, but like
You said,
they
John,
also
you
have
said like 360 million in
They
2020
bought it for
or 2000?
326 in 2000. So what is
And
it
that
worth
was
right now?
25 years ago.
Okay, so if
Yeah.
all of
it's
us,
probably worth half a million.
every single
Or,
person in the country,
$500 million.
right?
It's probably
Damn
worth
inflation.
half a million. In
Damn
this
inflation.
economy,
Maybe
Yes,
$1 billion. Yeah.
All right.
And tariffs.
So if every single person in this country contributes $5, we got it.
which I'm willing to do.
I mean,
I'm willing
for
to
Ben and
even
Jerry's, that's
donate
good fucking ice cream.
$10.
If
That's
it
one pint.
if it means I can eat my ice cream without any guilt of like not supporting a good social cause, then I'm all for
So
it.
Exactly.
inflationary
standards, according to the internet, Ben & Jerry's is currently worth $607 million.
All right, so then we only need to contribute $2. Let's even easier.
Yeah, that's even easier. Come on.
And
That's less than a pint.
unlike most tech
for those
companies,
like 350 million
Unilever
people that watch
actually
the
went
show.
up in the market today. Unilever is at $62 a share right now. They're actually doing really well.
They're not U.S. owned, so they've got that going for them.
There we go.
Are they not
There we
suffering
go.
from
That's
the
one.
recent tariff announcement?
So I don't know. This Ben and Jerry's topic, I think, is so wild. It's so political.
It is crazy.
It's so financial.
Right. Who knew
so,
ice cream would be that
more
politicized?
American,
so filled
right?
with chunks that you can really
Right. I mean,
chew into.
like objectively, it's good freaking ice cream, right?
It's good freaking ice cream.
It's objectively good.
Yeah.
But I do agree that that part of what differentiates it from other premium ice cream brands is not just the chunks, not just something you can chew into, but also its mission, like it's social responsibility.
I mean,
mission.
It sounds like
Right.
that's going to change now, though.
Where else would you get the marriage
if-
of that of flavor and message with like
And
Stephen
also-
Colbert's American Dream? I mean, what are the companies going to
American
make that?
Dream, yeah.
If the initial agreement was for Ben and Jerry's to be able to manage their own social justice like standpoint, and now Unilever says, you know what? The Trump administration is telling us that D&I is bullshit, so fuck that. We're going to break contract. Like, what leverage does that give Ben Cohen and his team of rebel soldiers to fight, right?
I don't know
That's a
that
good
it actually
question.
gives them any leverage, but I think the more interesting question for me is like all of these sort of products and brands and corporations. I think Ben and Jerry's is sort of like speaking to what the American dream actually is, right? Like,
I love it.
it's like we're still seeing what the actual founders are doing, right? Like Johnson and Johnson and Eli Lilly and a bunch of other like sort of founding Rockefellers, whatever. Like the way that the founders ran their companies
Eli
is
Lillian?
Eli Lilly and
Nice.
Lillian, do you own this national conglomerate that we didn't know of?
and
But we
all of
digress.
these other companies, right? Like they were owned by individuals. They got sold to big corporations who basically and like the individuals sold away all of their or a lot of their like voting rights or a lot of their ability to govern the company themselves. And so especially then going to their descendants have all this money, but they have no interest in the company. They don't have any actual like voting power or whatever. And it's all done by boards and whatever. It's just profits on profits on profits. Nobody who was there for the founding of the company, right? And like, I think what we're seeing in Ben and Jerry's is some of that actual, like I said, American dream of like, we started this company and yeah, we sold it because it made sense to do it at the time, but like that's no longer serving what our vision for the company is, so we want to buy it back. And I am personally inspired by that because like I said, a lot of these other companies is like, we're several generations away from the people who actually founded it. So we no longer have that sort of original vision and they're just governed by the money. So
Unlimited money.
I'll do whatever I can to support Ben and Jerry's, whatever I can as an individual who just owns Eli Lilly. And
You mean Eli Lillian?
Eli Lillian. And like I said, if they did have a GoFundMe, I would donate at least $5.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that
But-
times
Ben Cohen, by
360
the way,
million people.
currently
rooting
still
for
worth
them.
still worth $150 million, 74 years old, still a Bernie Sanders supporter. Ben
I'm
Cohen is
rooting for them.
he is a real OG, you guys.
And that-
A real
Is he really
OG.
worth that much money? Wow.
And isn't that the American dream right there? It's like you started an ice cream company that's freaking like globally known,
Yeah, 1978, an ice cream parlor in Vermont.
right?
Yeah, I'm rooting for him.
And there we go.
All right.
So that has been our topics. We will be back in 2 weeks with our friend Hurston Martinez. In the meantime, you can catch up on our old episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell. We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Lil and Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was
Thanks to you both.
amazing. Can we do that every week, you
I
guys?
know, right?
That was so fun.
That was awesome.
You can follow or like us on our socials at If These Balls Pod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Our website is www.iftheseballscould.talkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner, John Campagna, and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
If these balls